It's June 2023, and Star Citizen's various dev teams are working towards Alpha 3.20. We have a monthly report summary talking about what Cloud Imperium have been working on over the last few weeks, and what they're focused on now for the persistent universe's development, from ships to pyro to new features, all the juicy bits. The UK vehicle content team are working on a as yet unannounced ship. It's gone through its white box stage already and is currently in grey box, with both the interior and exterior progressing well. A new ground vehicle variant progressed through the grey box stage 2. Could this be some stuff for Alien Week? Yes, it's quite possible, but we won't know until Alien Week, I suppose. It's also quite possible it's something for 3.20, or it's for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or CitizenCon later in the year. They approached the end of their pass on vehicle tractor beams. This included work on the Origin 315P, the Drake Caterpillar, and Cutlass Black Consolidated Outland Nomad, and MISC Hull C. So we're hoping that those sort of tractor beams, ship scale wise, will be in 3.20. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Development of the Crusader Spirit continued. The C1 is almost grey box complete, while the A1 had its LOD 0 review scheduled for early June. The MISC Freelancers components rework progressed through the final art stage, with the LOD's levels of detail mostly finished and some polished tasks outstanding. It's due to finish final art later this month. The team began preparing the RSI Polaris for white box, and we know that Cloud Imperium are planning to go through some of those large RSI ships, get them complete, get them out in our hands, starting with that Polaris. They said, because this is a sizable capital ship, we have been breaking the vehicle down and planning a resource pack so that an interior can be constructed out of reusable elements. They go on to say, we also spent time reviewing the concept to highlight any areas that would need additional design time due to the new gold standard requirements. The US vehicle team worked on the Tumbrel Storm as it approached the end of its LOD 0 grey box stage, with the team applying materials, decals, etc. to the exterior and interior. This is currently in the polishing stage, with the devs tuning the visual balance. They also applied wear to the exterior and prepared to begin customization work with various paints. The vehicle's interior lighting is nearly complete, with an upcoming pass for the exterior planned. Grey box on the Santok Yai, so this is the Aopoa Xi'an ship, that's mostly complete now, with only dashboard work remaining. They said, we've been able to generate a new series of textures to be used for labeling and the dashboard buttons, as well as creating a new damage map to show through the gaps in the armor, which will be unique to Aopoa. With feature updates, engineering began a full refactor of how the game rule system serializes network variables, making it compatible for server meshing. Work also continued on a full refactor of the spawning module. Initial work was completed on a new game rule difficulty module, so this will be iterated on by the Squadron 42 guys. The features team is then expecting to pick it back up again after Alpha 3.20 for use in Arena Commander's PvE game modes. A rework of team balancing and competitive scoring began as well. This will enable groups of players to stay together more consistently and balance teams based on leaderboard stats, and enable a new mechanic allowing players to volunteer to switch teams if imbalance is detected during a match. For competitive scoring, the team are currently experimenting with various adjustments, including awarding higher scores based on the KDL, kills, deaths and assists ranking of opponents, and awarding lower scores for killing the same player repeatedly. Engineering began experimenting with increasing max server FPS, decreasing the actor delay buffer, and increasing packet rate in an effort to reduce latency and desync in Star Marine. I'm really excited if they are trying to increase max server FPS. I'm assuming they're talking about above 30. Obviously, they want a nice stable 30. If they're talking sort of like 40, 60 sort of server FPS and getting it there consistently, that'll be fantastic for the game. It's possible it might only be something for Arena Commander and Star Marine though. We'll have to wait and see. Arena Commander's design team began converting the spawn screen they originally had for Theatres of War into the Arena Commander and Star Marine game modes. This allows players to select their general spawn area, customize FPS loadouts within matches, and select FPS and vehicle loadouts on the fly. It also allows them to join on a ship as a crew member, so they can go, I'm going to gun for you on this ship. So proper multi-crew in Arena Commander. Work also progressed on an upgrade to Vandal Swarm, with the team experimenting with some new gameplay mechanics. Hopefully, this will include the update to the Scythe and Glaive that we know they've sort of got for Squadron 42. I'm very much sort of quite excited to see those ships updated in game. We also know that Cloud Imperium's updates to Arena Commander, to all these modes and stuff, are going beyond just the 3.20 patch. The new security post career map for Arena Commander was completed as well. They also polished the track layout for the 4th new addition to the New Horizons Speedway collection, the Halloran Circuit, while putting the finishing touches to the first atmospheric arena. The arena, Winner's Circle, will be available in all dogfighting game modes as well. The characters and weapons features team worked on ammo pooling, which will allow players to redistribute the ammunition stored in their suit and inventory to maximize their number of full magazines. Radiation debuffs were explored as well, so radiation will have a bigger impact on characters the closer they are to the source. It can be ambient within a room as well. Irradiated water affects an actor based on how submerged they are. When a character is affected by radiation, the protection of their sort of outfit and what they're wearing will start to decay. Once that protection is gone, the actor will start to suffer radiation sickness, and they will then need to seek medical attention to recover. The outfit they were wearing, or what their sort of radiation protection, will regenerate over time, assumedly when they're not getting irradiated or radiation sort of beamed at them. The Montreal PU gameplay team worked on proof of concept investigations for the entity removal or trash feature, basically chucking things in a trash can that will then delete that entity for clear up. UI worked on the user interface for bounty hunting, as well as concepts for upcoming gameplay features. Work also continued on the new interior and minimap feature. This is initially for Squadron 42, but will eventually be added to the persistent universe, making navigating caves and landing zones a much smoother experience. The mission feature team continued work on the ship escort, data heist, and consignment retrieval missions, and added the finishing touches to a new unlawful salvage mission, where a ship must be stripped of an incriminating paint job before law enforcement arrives. They continued. Another exciting development is that we're exploring a new lightweight PvP/PvE event set aboard a modified version of the Siege of Orizon barge, in which players must figure out how to open shipping containers in order to steal the items within, all while Ninetales outlaws hold the location for themselves. For Alpha 3.19.1, the team rebalanced cargo generation within ships across various mission types, including salvage, assassination, and bounty hunting. This involved removing unsellable commodities and ensuring the profit fits the risk involved. Mission features actively worked on refactoring old missions into the current modular library, including the missing person mission. They also refactored how the destroy drugs missions work and made parts of them modular. For example, the previous versions spawned hundreds of individual boxes, but now they'll spawn just like pallets, and they can have pallet loadouts for those drugs. So this will significantly improve performance and reliability, and it means that the team will be able to control the number of pallets spawned for different mission difficulties. Work on Bounty Hunting version 2 progressed as well. They are currently working with systemic services and tools to develop the systems required to have virtual NPC bounties traveling around the systems. I suppose based on when it comes, it will be the system, Stanton, or systems, Pyro and Stanton. They also worked on R&D for bounty contract missions, a bounty marker prototype, and connecting the NPC tracker to the game server. Work continued on the Quantum and Odin tool, including making progress on data-driven economy stuff, Quanta State, Quanta Life, and the Battle Matrix and Battle System. Lots of bits and bobs for the dynamic universe simulation. Narrative continued work on several new mission sets, including data heist, package extraction, and consignment retrieval. They also started coming up with some new mission ideas as well. They kicked off further discussions on Pyro, specifically going over the areas of influence of the system's various factions, as well as defining which groups are allies and rivals. They recorded mocap for the first air traffic control assistant for cargo. They began polishing and implementing a new tourist behavior that will debut in an upcoming patch. Narrative also dedicated several of their weekly jams to exploring some of the versus alien cultures and Xeno language development. Assumedly, this is part of Alien Week, which begins on the 15th of of June. The locations team continued working on Pyro, making good progress on Ruin Station. The Sandbox team further developed planetary content for Pyro and continued to support the Montreal-based team on the new underground facilities. The Organics team created new fauna for Pyro and are currently reworking some of the upcoming systems plans to bring them up to current expectations. They have some very cool content that they are working on that they're going to be sharing some more info on hopefully soon. The in-game branding team continued working on interior and exterior signage for Ruin Station and supported the EU locations team. Work also continued on several new derelicts and modular kits for various Pyro locations. Talking about engine and backend and graphic stuff, Core Engine worked on some areas that could be cleaned up more aggressively to prevent persistent items from negatively impacting gameplay, so basically cleaning up of persistent entity streaming stuff. Various tools were also updated and improved. For the renderer, they started removing legacy Gen 12 code. There is a lot to remove, but this will result in a leaner, easier to maintain renderer code. The physics team focused on improving and bug fixing the new method for tracking unique geometry parts. They then improved cloth simulation for better simulation results, updated the rope and pulley systems, and they added cantilever simulation support. Graphics features, they spent time on performance improvements and new features, including screen space shadows, improvements to quantum jump tunnels, and render detector zone culling. Various GPU and CPU optimizations were made. Global illumination is well underway, and a ray tracing prototype was completed. The Planet Tech team started finalizing quantum obstacle generation with generic shapes in asteroid fields. A collision issue detector and wear and dirt and paint modifiers were also added to the Rastar tool. We know that this is used for lots of different things, but sort of building bases, positioning out points of interest, that sort of stuff. Ongoing improvements to the biome builder will reduce constant spawning despawning, which will relieve physics team of large destruction queues. Water can now be simulated in Engine and features new disturbance improvements. Planetary terrain height map generation was optimized to eliminate frame rate hitches. The online services team applied fixes to the character repair system, which is now working. This enables players to fix some login and other issues without requiring sort of CIG support. It is a lighter white version of the reset tool, which is no longer available to the hands of mere mortals and players. They also provided bug fixes and optimizations for ASOP terminals, and which are very, very snappy in Alpha 3.19.1, I will say. They also spent time optimizing persistent entity streaming to improve performance of its backend database. Boom! That's it for your Persistent Universe monthly report. CIG are very much working to push 3.19.1 out the door at the moment. That is a hugely refined version of 3.19. At least it seems like it is on the PTU at the moment. It provides a huge amount of bug fixes and updates to sort of increase the game's playability, stability, and accessibility. Let's hope that holds when they actually put it on the live servers, but that should be coming out really shortly, probably later this week, though that's not a confirmation. Are you excited for that 3.19.1 patch? What about all the work that's going into 3.20? What do you think those yet unannounced ships and vehicles are? If people are interested as well, there was nothing on the Bounty Merchantman because Cloud Imperium have paused work on the Bounty Merchantman to focus more on the Polaris and those RSI chain of large and capital ships. Bounty Merchantman will get work on later, but it is going to be a bit delayed as they prioritize other tasks. I'm interested to know what you think on that. Do you think, yes, actually, it makes sense for them to have loads of similar ships done, or ships that share resources and sort of textures, corridors, airlocks, whatever, that they can reuse for the next one, rather than build something super bespoke? Are you excited for the work that's going into Pyro and various Squadron 42 features that should be dripping into the Persistent Universe in the not-too-distant future? What about all the work that's going into Arena Commander and updating those gameplay modes? Are you excited for them, or is it something you're just a bit meh about and you want them to get on with the development of specifically the Persistent Universe and making that a better and better experience? Do you think the Santok UI will be magically ready for Alien Week, or do you think, well, they said it was almost sort of done, but obviously that's not going to be done for Alien Week? Do you think it's more like a 3.20 sort of feature? Whatever your thoughts, if you've got questions, whatever, chuck them in the comments below. I'll be reading them.
Let me tell you a story from the book of NordVPN/BoredGamer. There were 3 little pigs who all needed internet access. One used a VPN made of straw, one used a VPN made of wood, and one used NordVPN, which is basically bricks in this analogy. Along came an elite hacker wolf and smashed up the houses of the first two Piggly Wigglies, but was unable to breach the NordVPN house, which is just much better than straw or wood for protecting you from internet things like wolves and hackers. The moral of this story is get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer or click the links below for powerful discounts that might make your friends think you are an internet wizard or something.
Also, that wolf went to prison for 10 years on an unrelated crime. Maybe it was like not liking or subscribing or something? Every month we have a ship giveaway for June 2023. That's going to be for an RSI Constellation Andromeda. This hybrid cargo gunship is perfect for small crews of up to 4. It comes with a P-52 Merlin snub fighter as well, along with lifetime insurance and game access. All you need to start playing Star Citizen. And all you have to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the video description below. If you would like to further support the channel, please consider pressing the join button under my videos for exclusive membership to the channel, or become a Patreon. I've already got a load of lovely people that do that, and it really goes a long way in allowing us to make daily content. Thank you so much to my channel members and Patreons, but thank you so much for just liking, subscribing, commenting, and watching my videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.